Welcome to the polls live from our studios in Kokomlemle. I am Amesi Nyamiche Thompson. Coming up, international relations expert expresses concern over the government's plan to make Ghana a visa-free destination, warning that while the initiative has its benefits, it also heightens security risk. Meanwhile, some Ghanaians have welcomed the move.
Good thing. But this is long overdue. We should have had this many years back.
For me, I think it's fine because if you're in Africa and want to travel to Ghana, I don't think you should be going a lot of processes.
Also coming up, Vice Chancellor's Ghana demand urgent dialogue to address what it says is the looming disruption to tertiary education calendar following delays in the release of the 2024 WASSCE results.
They are working now through the holidays to get the results out on or before 29th.
And the Joy FM family party in the park is coming up. We're live at the Bree Botanical Garden where the fun is reaching its peak. The Pulse is brought to you by Global Communities Dignilu, affordable safe sanitation for all. Also live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV 125. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube and myjoyonline.com for these and more. Stay tuned. And let's get into the details now. International relations expert has expressed concern over Ghana's move to become a visa-free destination, warning of heightened security risk despite its economic benefits. President Akufo-Addo on Wednesday, December 18, granted an executive approval for all African nationals without a visa. The move makes Ghana one of 5 countries, including Rwanda, Seychelles, the Gambia and Benin, as the only African countries offering visa-free entry to all African passport holders. Although the economic impact cannot be underestimated, international relations expert Dr. Ishmael Hovo says the move also opens up to more security risks. But before we hear from him, let's hear the views of some Ghanaians on the matter.
I think it's a good thing. In fact, this is long overdue. We should have had this many years back. Africa would have developed now. It's a very good thing if people of other countries are coming to Africa without visas and all that. It means trade is going to improve so much. And I think that is a very good thing that the government has done. And I welcome it.
At the end of the day, it's a Ghana thing, you understand? So, I mean, the country at large will benefit.
For me, I think it's fine because if you're in Africa and want to travel to Ghana, I don't think you should be going a lot of processes. I think when traveling to Ghana and it's visa-free, it will help a lot of people to, come to Ghana to see what we have here. So if it's visa-free, when the person arrives, he will go to the embassy and maybe they will give him maybe 3 months or 4 months, and I think it will help. We have tourism here, so people will be happy to enter this country. Like Nigerians, they are happy now because it's visa-free. Yeah.
It's very sensible, but we should implement necessary measures that will let the appropriate people to enter the country, because we don't want any situation where there will be an effect of incurring other people into the country so that they will come and give us negative implements.
Well, let's have some more discussions on this. And joining me is Dr. Ishmael Lovo. He's an international relations expert. Mr. Dr. Lovo, we're grateful for your time on the polls this afternoon. I believe this comes with mixed reactions, but let me ask you, what do you make of Ghana becoming an international a visa-free country at this point in time. We also have on the line Dr. Peter Tekpe, who is a policy analyst in economics. But before I come to you, Dr. Tekpe, let's start with international relations expert Dr. Hlobo. Let me ask you what you make of the decision to become a visa-free country, sir.
Thank you and good afternoon to your viewers. Ghana has been a leading light in the struggle the African government, the Pan-African, the quest to unite Africa and integrate everything. So this is a welcome development or perspective, given the fact that Ghana currently plays post the period of the African Continental Free Trade Area. This is going to allow those Africans, businesses that want to have some interaction or have dealings at the area to fly into Ghana and have whatever business they want. And it's also going to boost at least the tourism sector, that anyone who wants to visit Ghana in terms of tourism, in terms of any other economic or business, will not have to go through the challenge of acquiring business. So yes, they are positive.
Well, Dr. Hlobo, if you can hear me, I can hardly hear what you're saying. Could you, project your voice a bit more, okay, or reposition yourself?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I think it's better.
Okay. So I'm saying that this is in line with Ghana's long-held tradition of playing a leading role in Pan-Africanism and the quest to integrate African fabric. And even the fact that Ghana currently plays close to the African free trade area, this will boost the efforts of businesses across the continent. But then businesses that need to fight Ghana and have something linked with the will do so without the need to go to it. And also, given that they are trying to promote tourism and other aspects of the economy, this is boost the tourism sector who need to tourism and other events do not need to necessarily go through the visa requirement. In as much as it has this very, very positive aspect, there are also some risks associated with visa waivers. So you realize that the level of scrutiny that is done normally in granting visas no longer be, because in this case you don't have the time frame. For instance, tell somebody that who apply for visa to come another day, where you have the luxury of time to do the detailed background checks that is normally done in terms of issuing visas. So you will have a situation where a lot more of Africans will be coming to Ghana visa free, and therefore it must go along with heightened security checks by the immigration service. So there's a need to keep the immigration service to be able to do a lot of background checks on those who be around, so that they can be admitted. Also, the risk of most of them overstaying the period allowed for the free visa is also there. So we must look at some of these risks and put in measures to mitigate them, so that waiver does not become a problem for us. Because there are examples across Africa where countries give visa waivers and then along the line they have to cancel it. South Africa, for instance, in 2018, have to cancel visa waivers for some African countries, including Zimbabwe. The effect on them was becoming too much. So these are the issues that have been brought to the limelight.
Well, we know that countries like Seychelles, Benin, the Gambia, and the rest have all taken this path. But what can Ghana learn from these countries, since they took the lead in this direction?
Of course, as I said, those countries have taken the lead, and they might have implemented a lot of immigration reforms that allow the immigration service to be able to profile those who they admit. So it's also about immigration management. So you may want to learn how they are able to profile people at the borders and admit those that they think will not pose any risk to the nation. Of course, we must also learn how they are able to cooperate with other migration management entities, like immigration officers of other countries, Int'l and others, how they are able to access their databases, profile those that are coming into the country. So these are areas that we can learn from, but on our own, we must also be more, be adopting more of technology, where you can, on the click of a button, know a lot about somebody who is coming from a particular country and so forth. And so, yes, we can learn from them. We can learn how they are able to implement this free arrangement without pushing themselves unnecessarily.
All right. Dr. Hlowo, hold on for me. Let me take Dr. Peter Tekpe, who is also a policy analyst and economist. I mean, Dr. Tekpe, if you've been listening into the conversation, Dr. Hlowo raises issues about heightening our security on our borders, also learning, from the other countries that have taken the lead in this direction. But going into this direction, there's a lot that's going to go in economically. Are we ready as a nation, looking at our current situation, to carry on this new situation that we find ourselves in?
Thank you very much. Well, from an economic point of view, definitely this is going to benefit the country. However, you must have something on the table to offer.
Yeah.
For which you are rolling out this policy. So if you look at the other countries that have this, like Rwanda, the Seychelles you're talking about, what does Ghana have such that this policy is going to bring in economic benefit into the country? And so normally, before such decisions are taken, you must prepare a system in place or infrastructure in place so that as people come in, they will benefit. Other than that, the disadvantage you are going to face is that people, when they see, because Ghana is fast becoming, very matured in terms of democracy, our, political, climate is very stable. Mm-hmm. People will start coming into your country, and then they will start seeing your country as a safe place for them to use to perpetrate other crime. Mm-hmm. And because they've seen that it's a place that you can go, you have peace, you can stay in there, and they'll be doing all sorts of things that will then begin to tarnish the image of your country. And that will go a long way to affect other aspects in terms of investors coming in terms of, people coming to actually do business in your country. Because we have, policies, we have institutions like the Africa Free Trade, where we are saying that these are some of the things that is going to help the country. And so the issue is that what does Ghana have on the table? If it's about tourism, how is our tourism, industry? How is the sector programmed in such a way that people who are coming in will benefit more from it? It's not just a matter of we having peace, and as a result, let's open up for people to come in. Do we have a structure that is going to bring in the benefit so that people don't just come in and then, like I said, they will see the place as a safe place for them to use it for perpetrating other crime. And then that will go a long way to affect our nationals in other countries and affect us also living here as well. So yeah, the security concerns raised are very important, but my question is that what are the structures that we have put in place such that Ghana will benefit from this? Because all the other countries like Rwanda, look at the way the country is structured. And so it benefits them. Are we there yet? And normally, if you don't have the
Dr. Tekpe, so let me put that question to you. You, from where you sit, do you think we are there yet? Do we have those structures in place that is going to help us achieve this decision that we've taken?
We are not there yet. The reason why we are not there yet is that, Ghana is mostly dependent on import. And if you have people who are coming into your country, one of the disadvantages is that when the structures are not in place, these people come in, they may come in with a lot of money, and then they'll be doing a lot of trading in the economy. And already we have the challenge where, traders association are complaining about foreigners coming in and, occupying the space retail space where the local spaces are supposed to be. These people may come in with money, and then they'll be trading. And when they trade, your economy will be depending more on import, and that will end up collapsing your local economy, your local business. That's why I'm saying we are not there yet, because the structure that you have to put in place to secure the local economy has not been at its best yet. And so when you come in, people are coming in to compete with your people. We are in an economy where, very expensive to do business. So somebody is coming from another country where he comes in with some amount of capital and he set up a business. People realize he's importing more things from his country, and then you are not. And so already we are struggling with certain imports already, certain products. We're talking about agricultural products, talking about how we are importing tomatoes, importing onion, basic commodity that we should. If you have people coming to your country and it is free, these are some of the disadvantages you are going to get from it. So the structure that we have to put in place so that Ghana can benefit holistically from it and not only one sector. We are not there yet because of the way we are importing a lot of items into the country.
So, Dr. Tekpe, I mean, from your point of view, we are not there yet, but the decision has already been made. How do we safeguard ourselves from this kind of exploitation, or even the infrastructure that we need, the policies that we need, the bilateral agreements that we need to ensure that this is smooth sailing?
I think that one of the things that we have to look at in terms of putting some infrastructure in place is maybe to set up a Ghana Immigration Council, where we need to have an authority or a body specifically, in place to handle or look at these things. We have the Ghana Immigration Service. The role of Ghana Immigration Service is such that they are not focusing on one area. So we need a body that will be in place to look at this specifically, so that you look at people migrating to your country, to know what they are coming to do, the reason why they are coming. And so even though the policy has already been announced, it's in place, we can quickly put in the structures in place. I don't know whether there is a system or they are drawing up some plan already for this. If not, then as they are listed in, these are some of the things that we have to do so that it will help to protect a local economy. But be it may, it's a very fantastic thing that, definitely is going to benefit the country. But if you are not careful, you are rather going to feel the pain more than you expected, because the necessary infrastructure you have to put in place are indicated are not there yet.
So visa-free regimes also comes with revenue losses, especially to the embassies and whatnot. What other alternatives can be put in place to safeguard the revenues that we take in considering the new status that we have?
That's a very good point. And like I indicated concerning the infrastructure or the system to put in place, you are going to lose revenue on one side. So the question is that what are you putting in place as an alternative so that you'll be able to recoup the revenue that you have not gotten from this? And that's what I'm talking about. How do we track these people coming in? What are they coming to do? So that they are not just coming into the country to just come and use the country as a place to rather siphon money out of the country, but they are come to do something that will benefit the country economically. And that is where the issue like that. We need to put up a council, an institution in place, an authority in place that will monitor all the movement of people into the country and look at what they are coming to do, so that it will help to revive the economy in terms of our productivity. What do we do in the manufacturing sector? What do we do in the tourism sector? What do we do in the agriculture sector? What do we do in the in the mining sector? What are the things that we have to put in place to ensure that anybody who is coming to the country, visa-free, he comes into the country, what is he coming to do that will, alternate that visa fee that he has not paid? These are policies that we must carefully look at. Other than that, Ghana is going to reach a point where there's going to be pressure on existing infrastructure already, like the health sector. The impact of this, if it's not looked at holistically, is going to have a direct consequence on our economy. The reason is that if you look at the health system, for instance, when people come in, they will use this infrastructure. They will use the educational system. They will use the health system. They will use a lot of place in the country. How do we make sure that we build up this system in such a way that the pressure that will come in can accommodate all of this? If we are not careful to roll it out intentionally and carefully, we will end up rather worsening our plight.
Right. Stay with me, Dr. Tekpe. Let me go back to Dr. Ishmael Hlɔvɔ. Dr. Ishmael Hlɔvɔ, the issue about, you've made mention of security concerns already. We're still grappling with terrorism, I beg your pardon. We are grappling with human trafficking and whatnot. Ghana has always been seen as a destination where some of these activities are done or used as a platform, to promote some of these illegal activities. In the situation that we find ourselves in at this juncture, how can we reduce these practices?
Okay, thank you once again. Before I come to you, I want to take this. We must differentiate between the right and... Dr.
Hlɔvɔ, your sound is still a bit problematic. I don't know how we can...
Hello?
Is
it okay?
I think it's okay. I hope we can maintain this volume.
Okay, all right. So I'm trying to say that as we discuss this issue, let's create a right to be admitted into a country through visa, which is being waived as a result of the visa waiver given by the president. From the right to settle, these are two different things. A right to enter a country does not automatically translate the right to settle. So if you waive visas, it is within a time frame. So for instance, all ECOWAS countries, member countries can enter here, and they have the right to settlement. But even before they settle and engage in business, they must go through certain police registration process. So normally, if you have the right to enter a country visa-free, visa free is for a number of days. All right, we are yet to come to terms with how many days Ghana is granting to all the other African countries.
Okay.
Normally, it's within a 90-day period. Sometimes
90 days. Yes.
So entering the country will allow you to come and explore opportunities and go back. Now, that is why the most important task that is facing Ghana now is the ability to resource the immigration service to be able to enforce, as it were, the 90-day period, so that people do not overstay their visa and end up in the informal economy where they will pose a threat to us. That's very important. So we must make that distinction, so that we don't necessarily interpret it to mean that once you enter Ghana, you have the right to start aspects of it. And we must also be minded that migration, the Int'l, has positive beyond the normal things that we are talking about. One of the aspects of migrant that we do not discuss much is the fact that they are very entrepreneurial. Nobody will leave his country to another country when he's looking for software. Yes, of course, the issues of human trafficking and others have been a problem for Ghana, even with the visa regime. Ghana has been both a source, a transit and destination for people who are being trafficked. So the best you can do under the circumstance is to resource the immigration service, the ability to keep surveillance, the ability to monitor the borders and know who is entering at which point and who is overstaying the visa that have been granted, and the ability to repatriate those people if it is necessary. Thankfully, with the help of the implementation of the Ghana card, we have at least moved beyond a certain stage where we can say that we have a database where our citizens and foreigners in the country can be located. So maybe we should find a way going forward to issue the card to those foreigners that are entering, knowing where they will stay, knowing all those kind of things. So that you are able to keep the surveillance that those who are overstaying, quickly you are able to fish them out. So it's about building, I think that in the era of technology, it's about building that technological base that allow you to track everybody where they are. So if you're able to do transactions, Momo and all those things can be registered, so that once you overstay your visa, you find it difficult to do such transactions in Ghana. These are things that we can do to improve what we have done. Right. So I think that these are the issues that have been put in place to ensure that where people can freely explore opportunities. If they want to settle, then they go to the next stage of acquiring residence permit for a long stay and so forth and so on.
Well, you mentioned a very important point about the residence permit. I mean, we're still grappling with the issue of people coming into the country and taking, getting advantages over residents in Ghana. The issue about the rent system in the country as we speak. With this open gate, you think this can be resolved now?
Now, so these are some of the negative consequences of that, where you have maybe the migrants who are coming, who may be more resourced than your locals, and therefore will be acquiring most of the residential buildings and then pushing your own citizen out. But you can solve it by increasing your investment into housing. You need to do that. Maybe what we have done is that we implemented too early and have not put in place these necessary structures to support it. But that also creates room for entrepreneurs to go into it. If there's increasing demand for housing, why don't you resource local contractors, those who are interested in housing? Why don't you give them the tax waivers to put up the buildings and support? And I think that, yes, it's not it's not going to be difficult to achieve that if you put in the necessary economic structure and incentive that push people to go into the real estate sector, where they can put up buildings. Of course, as they are putting up the buildings, there are jobs being created for both the local and the national. So I don't see migrants necessarily as a threat to the domestic economy. I see them as bringing something else. Bring that into America. Of course, some of them will do things that we do not like, and those are the ones that we should happen. But wherever you see migrants, I believe that they bring a different dimension. If you look at the Nigerians, for instance, that have been we've seen that's the problem. They bring a lot of innovation, either to banking, either to even selling of phones, the way they go about their business. Perhaps we should learn from them instead of unnecessarily competing. That doesn't mean that the Ghanaian population will not face problems. We will face problems, but it's about government policies that create incentive for people to solve the problem. That create incentive. The state housing schemes have to be set and so that you address this problem. So I think that maybe the only challenge I find with this, apart from the spirit threat, is the timing of it. In the sense that the government is about to leave office, and this is issued through an executive order, and the implementation will not necessarily be for the current administration. Of course, we must admit that government is continuing, but it's a major decision that will involve a lot of investment, and that I think should have been left somehow for the incoming administration to deal with, because when you push it like this, and the incoming administration have to struggle to cope with the consequences, maybe they will not have a complete control of what you are trying to achieve. So that is the only issue I also have with this arrangement. Apart from that, I think that any other challenge that this will pose can be solved by both state and private sector. The coming of these people, naturally, if you look at migration even across Africa, most of the people who enter the country and stay without visas do not actually use formal migration channels. They are people who, either they are borders or not, have been migrating over the years. So they will come anyway, either you have visa waiver or not. There are people who migrate, use porous borders to enter here. So when you have both visa waiver, what you should do is to tighten your border security sector, because that first line of defense, that is the embassies that grant visas, are no longer there. Therefore, you have to increase investment in the immigration service that will now have the real time be able to screen people and admit those that do not pose any threat to you. Even without this visa waiver, as I said, we have terrorism in West Africa. We still within the airports have region where they are allowed to enter. So we are doing something like that already. All we need now is to scale up our ability to screen people at the borders for admitting them.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Hlovo. Let me bring in Dr. Peter Tekpe Azad now to round up the conversation for us. Dr. Tekpe, I mean, just before you give us your last words, the issue about the local job market, how does this affect it?
This will seriously affect the local job market, especially in the informal sector. Because for the formal sector, normally those who come in, they go through the normal process. The institution that is bringing them in, they secure, work permit and then the residence permit. But the challenge is the informal sector. And we all know the challenge we are facing already. That in the informal sector already, people come in, they go into businesses, and nobody is able to track it. We only get to know when the Ghanaians begin to complain that the informal sector is being saturated with foreign companies or foreigners who are, competing with them in the same retail trading space. And like I said, these people will come with the financial muscle that will affect the local traders. That is the reason why I indicated that infrastructure to be in place is very important. And the challenge with our governance is that we normally turn out policies without thinking of the necessary infrastructure to put in place to move along with the policies. And so we do things, we roll out policies, and then the implementation becomes a challenge because we don't take our time to ask whether we have the necessary infrastructure in place to do this. Now, if you look at the way we operate in this country, Ghana is a place that is becoming very safe for people. People want to come in more into the country because of the way we have a very stable political atmosphere.
Yeah.
If we are not careful, the challenge is that whilst we are doing this, we are killing the local economy, let me use the word, gradually. And then we'll be pushing our people out of job. Then the aspect which is, accommodation, where the Ghanaian is struggling to get accommodation.
Right.
You see people coming in, able to pay 2 years, 3 years advance. And then it will be difficult. So in the environment where you live, if somebody, we have rent control system, but they are not controlling the rent as they are supposed to. So everybody is charging as per. So accommodation that you as a Ghanaian will not be able to afford, a foreigner comes in, and even if he pays double of that, he is okay. And so you realize that a lot of the people will then be struggling. Then it will affect productivity. And so these are some of the things that we have to look at when we are rolling out some of these policies.
Right. I believe there's so much to talk about, especially in relation to this policy. I'm so grateful, gentlemen, for your time on the polls. Dr. Peter Tekpe, who is a policy analyst and economist, and Dr. Ishmael Lovo, an international relations analyst, helping us to understand the current status of a visa-free Ghana. Now, moving on, Vice Chancellor's Ghana, the Association of University Heads across the country, is calling for urgent dialogue to address what it believes is a looming disruption to the tertiary education calendar due to delays in the release of the 2024 WASSCE results. They warn that the delays could also impact the quality of education and student finances. We'll hear from the Executive Secretary of Vice Chancellor's Ghana shortly. First, though, let's hear the Education Minister, Dr. Yawse Duchum's assurance when he visited WAEC this week.
This is not unusual. However, I came to apprise myself of developments in terms of the fact that they are working now through the holidays to get the results out on or before 29th of this month. So I came and I saw the workers. Scanning is being done. Close to 50% is done. They assure me by the end of the day over 50% of scanning will be completed. On or about 29th of this month, the results will come out.
But just yesterday, WAEC said it was struggling to meet the minister's timeline.
We are on the scanning of the objective answer cards. Unfortunately, the machines are not working at full throttle, so we are moving at a snail pace. In fact, as I speak, there are no staff at the office because the machines that we have fixed are really not working up to expectation. So we are really under pressure, if I could say so.
Well, did the minister know about this situation when he made a promise that by 29th the results will be out?
Well, when the tour was done, I wasn't here, but when I got to the office yesterday, my head of office indicated that they had shown him the amount of work that had been done. About 45% of the job has been done. We have 55% more to do. The scanners are not working at full throttle, and so we would be glad if they release further funds for us to be able to, buy the parts, fix the machines, so that we can have more machines scanning and the work can move on very fast. So this information, I am told, was made available to the minister.
And did you get the funds as you were requesting?
Unfortunately, as I speak with you, we haven't received any more funds apart from the 25 million we received on the 18th of December.
Well, where does this leave us? Will you be able to meet the 29th of December deadline? It's just 4 days to go.
Well, it's 4 days to go. We have indicated the challenges we have. If monies are made available for us to be able to get the machines fixed, we'll recall all staff and then all hands on deck. We are sure we'll be able to meet that deadline. But for now, I doubt if we can make it. It's a very sensitive issue, so I want to be very careful what I say.
And I heard John Kapi in an interview with my colleague Fred Smith. We can now hear from Executive Secretary of Vice Chancellor's Ghana, Dr. Senak Beglo Freku.
Most universities are planned for their first years to come in January. Second, third week and so on. If the results are not released on time, it means that the admission process itself will also delay. The admission process doesn't take a day or two to do. Granted that they will have the data and everything, and when the results are released, then they will try to assign students to the program and then have the admission process. But then the students will have to go to the bank, pay their fees. That also takes some processes. So by the time the results, now that the results, we are not even sure that the results will come in December because of the breakdown in their machines. And it means we are going into January. It means that first year students may not even be able to come in January because right now there is uncertainty regarding when the results will be released. So that means that the universities will have to keep pushing the academic calendars, forward and forward, and that holds implications for a lot of things.
What will be the implication as you mentioned?
Everything you can imagine. It means they have to re-strategize, replan the academic calendar for their first year. It's a 13-week calendar per semester. If the students come in February and school is supposed to vacate in the next 3 months or so, they will not have the full complement of the teaching and learning process.
You're still listening to the Pulse on Joy News. We'll take a break. We'll return with more highlights from Joy FM Family Party in the Park. Welcome back to the Pulse. Now let's head to the Ebri Botanical Gardens, where families at the ongoing Joy FM Family Party in the Park have described the event as relaxing and very needed after a long year. The Ebri Botanical Gardens has been transformed into a perfect bonding atmosphere for the families to enjoy this Boxing Day. Host of the Overdrive on Joy FM, we have Lexus Bill, who is giving us updates of what's happening there.
All right. So we're live here at the Ebri Botanical Gardens. It's an amazing scene. Listen, I've never seen a crowd this big, especially for the Joy FM Family Party in the park. It's a whole fiesta. Families have thronged this place, like you can see behind. Lots of people. Right now, we're actually on stage. There's the musical dancing chairs going on. These kids are having a good time, and I'm sure their parents are also having a good time as well. So it's been a day full of fun, lots of games, lots of activities. The crowd is, of course, charged as always, having a good time, observing all that's going on. Yep. We're just waiting for some of the performances to start a bit later. We're going to have Kwabna on this stage. We're going to have Kamido also live on this stage. A whole lot of other artists will be performing. The crowd is really charged. It's an amazing event. Kwampa delivered a couple of hours of an amazing set as well. Down the other side, that had the live band set up. So Kwampa did all that. And now we're back to the stage where the DJs are about to do their own thing. But lots of games already happening on the stage. So that's what's happening at the Ebri Botanical Gardens, the 2024 Joy FM Family Party in the Park. Maybe if you come along with me, we'll find out from some people how they are feeling, whether they're enjoying the event so far. There you have it on my right, Iggy on the decks right there, and the team putting together everything. So let's just get down and see if we can speak to some of the people who are here, whether they are having a good time. I see a brother having a good time. Big man, how you doing? We're live on Joy News. Are you having a good time?
Yeah, I am.
I see a big smile on your face. How's it going today?
I'm really having fun. I'm happy I came.
Nice. Did you come with the family?
Yes, I did. But I came with my colleagues. We are a team of 5. So five families. We came together. We've had fun.
Oh, 5 families.
5 families.
All right. So live from Ebri Botanical Gardens. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Lots of people are having a good time, having a wonderful Boxing Day. We promise to give you you a great entertaining experience. And you know, definitely Joy FM and the Joy News crew will stop at nothing to deliver that. Thousands, I mean, I think probably about 10,000 people in here having a good time. I was just telling a friend that we probably might need a bigger park, you know what I mean? Because there's so many people in here, but it's all good vibes and fun. And so thank you so much, and we'll bring you more updates right here on Joy News. This is Lexus Bill.
Alexis, I really want to be there, but I cannot because some of us have to stay back and work. But however, if you're home and you're watching and you have nowhere to go, there's no excuse to be at home. You have to be at the Int'l Botanical Gardens, where the Joy FM family party in the park is currently ongoing, and the evening promises to be spectacular. But that's how we wrap up this edition of The Pulse on Joy News. There's more news on my joyonline.com. I am Amisi Nyamiche Thompson. Thanks for your company.